A holiday tradition, Trees for Troops, helps bring Christmas to Fort Drum families. 7 News reporter Chad Charette has more.
It was a cold morning on Fort Drum, but that didn't stop service members, their spouses, and their kids from lining up at Trees for Troops.
Well, never a fake tree. I've never had a fake tree, so gotta get a live tree, you know?
The annual giveaway puts free Christmas trees in the hands of Fort Drum families. 2 whole FedEx trucks worth. That's a total of 800 trees sourced from the Christmas Spirit Foundation.
Giving these trees away for I think the last 10 years. It's a great honor to do it. A lot of people come here and grab those trees, so it's an awesome event.
Volunteer soldiers like Angel Hernandez helped families pick out their preferred spruces and then assisted those families in loading them up, all in a day's work.
Trees for Troops is an important event for us here at Drum because, you know, it's a chance for us to give back to our troops. We ask for so much for them, so any opportunity for us to give it back, we're going to take it.
If the turnout was anything to go by, the giveaway was a real hit.
Did you see the smile on my wife's face? Yeah, it's helping out a lot.
For the Yanko family, Trees for Troops was a sort of welcome back gift since they spent the last few years down south. They're originally from Maine.
Oh
yes,
yeah, yes, very grateful for
We haven't had a real tree in years.
Yeah, it's kind of like being home again.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna kind of soak it in and enjoy it.
Over its 2-decade history, the Christmas Spirit Foundation has given soldiers and their families across the nation more than 300,000 trees. Chad Charette, 7 News.